forget to run around. I've been doing this since I had to work at mama house. Tear it down, tear it down, tear it down, tear it down, tear it down. Everybody eating, it's a party when I come to town. You can bring your mama, daddy, sister, and your cousin out.
We are situated about 8 miles west of New York City at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford. Tonight we reach the unofficial midway point of the season with a good Monday night battle between the Atlanta Falcons and the New York Giants. Lurching closer toward the midway point of this NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. And no run back on the opening kickoff. It'll come out to the 25. Wilson going to come out throwing. Oh, into a sea of defenders and intercepted. Picked off by Aaron Robinson. And the Giants are going to take possession of the football. Remember, Charles, this is the #1 defense in the NFL, and they prove their mettle here, forcing the turnover on the opening possession.
And sometimes when you play a team that has that reputation, it's earned it by their play. The psychology is, okay, they're #1. They have to prove it to us, and they tried to attack. They found out that that ranking was real.
And if history is any indication, when this defense gets off to a good start, look out.
Yeah, their offense plays off of them awfully well, too.
A first down carry for Barkley. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. But Charles, something we talked about last week, when you start believing whether you're in the midst of a special season or not. Well, now they're at 6-0. Are you still trying to tamp down the expectations in that locker room?
Well, to me, it's less about tamping down expectations and much more about not getting ahead of yourself as a team.
That's into a crowd and intercepted. Picked up by Deion Jones, the linebacker. And the Falcons will take over here as they get it up to the 43-yard line. So consecutive interceptions here early on in this one, and maybe setting the tone, Charles, for a game where the defense really takes center stage.
And don't you think that both offenses are really catching a bit from their coaching staff about avoiding these turnovers that we've seen early? I think both teams are trying to find an advantage. We know that. Can one of them break away and take control of this game?
He lost 9 there. That's really going to set him back for 2nd down.
You know when I could tell this is going to end really badly? When he launched himself behind the line and made a beeline for the ball carrier. You get one of those tackling machines in the middle on your trail, things are normally ending pretty quickly.
Wilson's throw pulled in by Schwartz. It'll be a pickup of 15 as that'll lead to 3rd down. 5 in the secondary now for the Giants here on third. Wilson. And this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on third down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to. The Falcons send out their punter as he's on to punt for the first time tonight. This is away, but boy, headed straight for the sidelines. And this will depend on the spot as it sails out of bounds. And they'll say it sailed out at the 10-yard line. The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game. But this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football. Because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance. If they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, it puts them in that position.
Up from his linebacker spot, Deion Jones making the play. Well, this defense for the Falcons, they were very good last week in the win over New Orleans.
And as in any game, takeaways are always a big key. They're always discussed on defense. There's an emphasis there. And they came away with 3 interceptions in that game.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Throwing, Jones. Has this complete to Daniel Bellinger. And brought down, but not before they're able to get it up to the 25. It's a gain of 11 and a Giant first down. Now Jones. Another pass complete to Bellinger. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32. The Giants at 6-0. What a start to the season for them. And they come in with fresh legs. They got the extra time off thanks to an early season open week.
And usually your hope is that your open week comes a little bit later in the year. But when you get a chance to get your fresh legs back, you have to take that time and run with it. And that's what they're trying to get done here.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Jones. He'll get this complete to Kadarius Toney. And all the way in. Touchdown, New York. And CD, we have seen some great runs the last few times we've been together, but I think we can at least put this one in our top 5. That was a determined gallop there.
Yeah, and this is one of the best runs you'll see a lot of times on these long touchdowns. You'll say he gets into the end zone untouched, but not here. He fought his way through contact, and it barely even registered. He just continued down the field all the way to the end zone.
And you can see the distance traveled there after the initial contact on the next-gen stats. And from back there, a wise move. He'll just sit on this one, and it'll come out to the 25. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And they are over 500 for the season, 4-3. They got back above 500 with a victory last week. And, Charles, you think this is a very important week for them, do you not?
I certainly do, because when you start to do the math, and yes, I'm using my fingers to count. If you're 4-4 at the midway point, let's say you're saying 10 wins is your cutoff line for a playoff berth. It's usually right around that number. A loss here, all of a sudden you've got to go 6-2 down the stretch just to reach 10 wins. That means this game is vital.
Had a bit of a lane there, took advantage of it. Give him 7 there on the first down carry. The success there, Charles, coming on the outside of the field, the ground game. Curious to see if that continues as we progress.
Yeah, we often talk about a variety in play calling and usually between run and pass. But in this case, with strictly the run game, you can be creative there as well. Run it inside, run it outside, keep the defense off balance.
2nd down, another shot for Jones. And he's going to get this past the 50 and into Giant territory. Call it a gain of 3, but not enough to move the sticks. 6. It'll be third and about a foot or two. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the first down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
They'll try and run for it with Jones. And he's got the first down before being taken down at the 46. The slot man in motion right. Now a first down carry by Jones. And he is going to lose yardage here. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. Play action. Now Wilson. Pass over the middle tipped, but he still brings it in. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Giants' 26. 23 yards the pickup there.
Brand, that's just not right. You throw it over the middle into all that coverage, and the tip ball goes your way.
Dangerous, but hey, I guess the outcome worked, right?
Oh, boy, did it ever. And, boy, that's the type of play that can give a team a lot of momentum.
Play clock down to 2, and we get a signal and a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Oh, they're going to run a little pop pass here. The ball comes out, but this will fortunately wind up out of bounds. Thankfully for the offense, a fortuitous bounce there on the fumble goes out of bounds because they're down here in the red zone. You don't want to lose one there.
You don't want to lose one, and the best part, because it went out of bounds, they retain possession, still have an opportunity to put points on the board.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Watching that play unfold and watching him complete it brought back memories of doing all those pursuit drills to make sure you don't over-pursue and let a guy get a cutback lane on you. He did that very well.
You praised him on tape yesterday for the angles that he takes to the ball. Took a great angle right there. Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
You can't be precise with your throws, especially in this situation. You're inside the 10-yard line going into the end zone. But sometimes the emotion, the excitement, sometimes the decisions just aren't made very well because of that.
This will probably be the last play of the quarter. They snap it at 1. Now Wilson. And it's intercepted at the goal line. And the Giants are going to get possession of the football as time will run out on this first quarter of play. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And you figure this should be a healthy, arrested, a focused unit, and they're working on a good winning streak. They had the week off last week. This is really a team, Charles, that should be in top 4.
I would agree absolutely with that. What coaches worry about, what organizations worry about, though, is overconfidence. They've been playing so well, and now they've had that extra time off. And we've seen teams come back off the open week and come out flat. So what a lot of good coaches do is they kind of game plan for that with their teams. On defense, they may blitz more in the beginning to get them going. On offense, they may go more up-tempo. Anything to get them out of that lethargy right at the beginning.
Now whistles here and a flag down. I think a Giant jumped early. So the false start certainly doesn't help matters as they'll try again now. 3rd and long. Back to throw. Jones. And oh, that is going to be a safety.
Every team has plays in their book to try and buy some room when a safety's on the table. But a big variable is how does each team deal with the pressure of executing in those situations. In this case, they didn't, and they gave up 2 points.
So free kick situation forthcoming from the 20 as they'll punt this one away. And who's got it? The Giants! So that's about as long a non-scoring play as you're going to see from inside their own 10 to 1st and goal. Looking to throw. Jones. And he's got it. Touchdown, Giants. A great effort there with his 16th touchdown of the year as his guys are able to extend their lead. And, partner, they found a gap there on the post pattern, and it was in the middle third of the field.
And that's really difficult to do because ordinarily the safeties are back there to prevent that happening. But they found the opening and exploited it.
McCann now for the extra point. And this one gives his guys a 12-point lead. McCann's got it teed up. And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. About set to begin their next drive. The Falcons offense at the line. As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points, but then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls that work. Now, they've got to build another drive and find a way to avoid the turnover that plagued it on the last one.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Back to the ground, this time with Jones. And he's got room. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. 14 yards there and a Falcon first down.
Partner, if you want more carries, I think we saw how you get them. Showed that he's got the fresh legs, and he picked up the first down on that run. Don't just ask for them. Show them that you're supposed to get the football.
And they'll bring the big tight end across the formation left. On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Thus far, they have been able to move the line of scrimmage very well in the running game. Almost felt like they said in the huddle, can you guys pass protect? Let's take a big shot downfield. Didn't get it on that one, but they may come back to it again.
On 2nd and 10, Wilson. And that throw behind his man. He missed him. Incomplete.
Martin, I think it's high time to get him some passes that he's comfortable with. Some easy throws, some completions. He's not even hitting the 50% thus far.
Well, certainly that has played a big role in why they are trailing right now. On 3rd down, Wilson. And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free. And it brings up 4th down. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. Fielded at the 20. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt, and it'll be Giant football 1st and 10. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And they, as mentioned, unbeaten to this point in the year, but you think this game, their toughest test yet.
I absolutely do, because to me, this is a good measuring stick game, because they've been able to...
There he goes, right side. Touchdown, Giants. Daniel Bellinger, 72 yards. And the Giants are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Well, that's pretty impressive, Charles. It's one thing to be an elite speed wide receiver and have all that yards after the catch into the end zone, but from your tight end?
Yeah, you don't get that very often. What you're describing is more like a Tyreek Hill, a Devontae Adams, and Antonio Brown. You're not talking about a guy that lines up or can line up in line and look like an extra tackle on running plays. He took that bad boom downfield just like he was a scat back.
Before the game, he told me, I'm going to have a zinger or two today, and I a zinger or two. I guess that's a zinger, right?
That's a zinger.
McCann's got it teed up. And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And, Charles, you look at these two teams, these are those kind of litmus test games in the second half of the season that if you're a coach or a player, you can either really look forward to them or really dread them, depending on your point of view.
And if you're dreading them, you're not going to go very far in the playoffs. You need to look forward to these kind of games because here we've got two division leaders, both real contenders for the NFC title. And you're right, you love having easy games on your schedule, but you need some games like this to toughen you up a bit and ensure that you're ready for the shock of playoff football.
On second down, another run for Dillon. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. The offense on third down tonight, they've only converted once in 4 tries. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. They'll try and run for the first with Dillon. And that gain of 9 buys them a new set of downs.
Exactly what they needed right there because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
They'll try the right side with Jones. And a pretty athletic run right there as he's going to get this down inside the 40. Coming up at halftime, I'll go from one personality, that's you, Charles Davis, to another one in Orlando, the coach. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL. You and Jonathan Coachman, both larger than life.
No doubt about it.
But you're stuck with me in this booth,
yes,
and he's miles away and smiling.
And happy.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Now they'll throw it with Wilson. Finds his man. That's Olave on the crossing route. And they're going to work this down to about the 32-yard line. Dillon, they try the left side with him. And he's got some space here. And he is out of bounds right around the 10-yard line. That good for 22 and a 1st down. They went with the nickel look defensively, so they had 5 defensive backs in there. Didn't help them stop the run.
Yeah, I love that. The nickel look, 5 cents, 5 DBs. But what also happens then? You take a big body off the field in order to insert that guy. So you're taking a big off for a little. And oftentimes you can run the football effectively against that defense.
And he's going to bull his way down to about the 1-yard line. 42 yards rushing for him now to this point. That's what they wanted out of that 1st down play. Run it down there. Now they're knocking on the door.
The only thing that would have been better was getting it in. And now they can do whatever they want because they've got confidence on their side. Line up quickly and go, or savor it a little bit, but I run right back at them.
2nd and goal from the 1. They'll look to run with Dillon. And he will take it in for a Falcon touchdown. A.J. Dillon, his 5th rushing touchdown now on the year. And the Falcons get a late score here in the final minute of the 1st half. Everybody in the stadium knew what they were going to do right there, CD. 3 tight ends on the field, all that extra bulk, and they run it in.
And you saw where that one went, right? You run it over your best blocker. I can just see the head coach right now. I want to run this one over the big boy. And they got it done.
Following the touchdown, here's Koo to kick off. Taking it about the 1. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they've got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead, but a mistake there, that can change things in a big way. I say go ahead, take the knee, get on out for the half.
The Giants going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 45 seconds to go in the 1st half. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Back to throw. Jones. He rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Trey Flowers picks it, and he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Falcon defense has a touchdown. You think you're going into halftime with a good-sized lead. Not so fast. That pick 6 really changes the complexion. Probably also changes the halftime speech.
No doubt about it. Instead of going in relaxed, you're probably a little more uptight right now. Probably a little bit angry. Let's see if they can get their focus back.
Koo able to connect on the extra point. And this is back to a 5-point game. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And no return on this one. It's a fair catch, a signal for and taken. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead, but a mistake there, that could change things in a big way. I say go ahead, take the knee, get on out for the half. Good, strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Jones fakes the give to Barkley. He finds Watson. It's caught. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 40. The Giants going to burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 25 seconds to go here in half number 1. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. Operating from the gun, Jones. He's going to launch this deep for Watson. And that is caught. He's got it for a Giant touchdown. A great play there as the first half is winding down. And the Giants will extend their lead here just before halftime. Extra point by McCann, up and good, and it gives his guys a 12-point advantage. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Although his reputation as a speedy runner precedes him, it's always fun to watch him work.
It is eye-opening, isn't it? Because when you see him get the ball and just go, in addition to that speed, it helps out his blockers. They don't have to hold blocks for long because he's just going to speed right past them.
Just 34 yards on the punt there, no return. And control of the football, switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. Likely time for one final snap as they start out 1st and 10. Throwing to start the drive. Jones. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. So a holding penalty, and that'll send him backwards.
You know they're trying not to do that. I mean, we know that, right? We talk to them all the time. But sometimes the defensive guys just put you in awkward situations, and you get caught grabbing their jerseys.
They'll indeed try to run it out as they start on the ground. And this will go as a short gain on what will be the final act of this first half. So we come upon halftime in what's a 12-point game at the break. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. Second half ready to get rolling. The Giants with a lead, and they are set to receive this kick. And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And deep in his own territory, he coughs up the football. So a teammate picking him up there, that was nearly disaster.
And the way that you coach these things, you want to make sure you have eyes towards the return guy because you want to make sure that the catch is secured. A lot of teams do that. They have at least one guy. Okay, you're responsible for making sure he secures the catch. He's not always the one that makes the recovery, but he can always sound out the alarm. Hey, ball's on the ground. We've got to get it back.
Down he goes at the 23, a pickup of 4.
I know it was a gain, but you have to sense probably a little bit of disappointment there because when it's out there in open space, I think they expect to get more out of a play, don't you?
Especially when you're getting it to your guy out of the backfield. You're expecting him to be able to create something, be a little more shifty.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Good open field tackling held it to an okay gain.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Looking to throw. Jones. That ball caught by Slayton. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. Just his 2nd catch of the game so far. This one moves the chains.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them. And these guys have been taking advantage so far.
Here's Jones on 1st and 10. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work this to the 45.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
Jones throw brought in by Watson. And he's going to be taken down at about the 33. And he's top 5 in the league in terms of receiving yardage because of plays like that. What have you seen from him on film that you like so much?
Well, I'll strip away everything else and get to what we call the moment of truth. When the ball's arriving and there's a defender there, he just comes down with the ball.
And all the way in. Touchdown, New York. Darius Slayton, 33 yards. As his guys are able to push that lead out a bit further. McCann for the point after. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. McCann's got it teed up. And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And he's only going to get this to the 4-yard line.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. They'll begin the drive with a run by Dillon. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And all the way to the opposite 45. 94 yards for him on the ground now. He has been a tough man to bring down all night. And you talk about great blocking up front. I don't think he was even touched, not a finger on him, until he was brought down to the ground.
I think we heard the whoosh as he went by, didn't we? Right through the gap. No one there, as you outlined, no one touched him at all. A free sprint into the secondary.
Yeah, that's what you call breaking free right there. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. It's been a struggle for him accruing yards in this game passing the football. So there he said, hey, I'm going to try to chuck it deep, but another incompletion.
Has to be a little bit frustrating because of what you just described. It's been a struggle for him here in the second half, hoping for one big shot to get him out of the doldrums.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. From the shotgun, a give to Jones. Oh, and that one well designed as he'll take this down to the 30-yard line. 14 yards there and a Falcon first down.
Well, think of it like you would a typical boxing match. The person is on his heels and absorbing blows is having a tough time. That's what's happening to the defense right now because the offense is on his toes and punching. And there's another first down run right there.
And intercepted. Wilson's third of the game. And the Giants are going to take possession here at their own 3-yard line. Jones now on first down. Throw left side, taken in by Slayton. He's up to the 20. Now he gets free up the left sideline. Now look out. To the 20. Touchdown, Giants. Darius Slayton with his 2nd touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. As his guys have opened up a very comfortable lead. Well, they were back in the shadows of their own goalpost, and that flipped quickly.
So much for playing it safe. I mean, the conservative, easy call, run the football, take care of it, create some space, punt the ball away. But no, let's throw it. And sometimes a defense's aggressiveness is used against them because when you've got people backed up, your natural inclination is to try and really force them back, and sometimes they get burned that way.
And they got burned there. Extra point by McCann, up and good, and that will bump the lead up to 26. McCann's got it teed up. And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. About set to begin their next drive. The Falcons offense at the line. As this offense takes the field against CD. Remember last drive they were moving the football, but then they threw that costly interception, so we'll see if they can right the ship here on this drive.
And doesn't that just sum up football? We see it all the time, don't we? The defense goes from losing the battle to making a huge play and stealing the momentum. So you know they're riding high right now, and they're ready to challenge this offense and that quarterback one more time.
And we'll see if the offense is up for that challenge here as things start to get more interesting here in this second half. From the 27, Wilson, and the giant rush gets home as down he goes. Kayvon Thibodeaux, he beat the O-line and recorded the sack.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
And the ball is loose. Dillon lost it. And the Giants have it. It's picked up. And they'll be inside the red zone with the ball at the 16-yard line. He has been a workhorse for them in this game, and ball security hasn't been an issue until that point.
Yeah, and let's face it, when he's going to carry the ball that many times, he becomes more and more of a target for the defense, knowing that he's going to be the primary guy. They'll just send more and more players towards him, trying to make sure they knock the ball free.
Jones with a handoff to Barkley. And he will take it on in for a giant touchdown. Saquon Barkley With career touchdown number 91, he joins a group that includes Tony Dorsett and Isaac Bruce, among others. And the Giants get another third-quarter touchdown to add on to that lead. McCann's got it teed up. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And he is going to be tackled at the 1-yard line. What a mess that was.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable now. Or win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles. But I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
And he's going to go down. Back at his own 5-yard line, it's a sack. Kayvon Thibodeaux able to record his 5th sack of the season.
I think most quarterbacks would love to have the goal line actually extend up into the air and turn into a wall, and they can put their back against it and know exactly where they are on the field so they don't end up in the end zone. Didn't do it on that play, but perilously close to the goal line.
Going up top. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's third down.
I know conventional wisdom says, hey, don't get it all back in one play. But sometimes you go ahead and try to. They tried to get it all back on that one. Weren't able to do so.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He's going to let it go again. And that will be incomplete. They weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
I like the fact that he took the shot deep downfield. Even if you don't get the catch, maybe you get a defensive penalty and pick up the yardage that way.
They're going on 4th down. It's Wilson. Oh, and this is going to wind up with safety.
At this point, I think it's a surprise when he isn't close to being sacked on a passing down. The amount of times he's hit the deck today, I think a lot of us are reading safety before they even took the snap. Simply a merciless pass rush every step of the game, and that rush earns a crowning achievement there. Partner, when I was in college, we used to have these things called game maxims that we did before every game. One of them said, press the kicking game. For here's where the breaks are made, is the area of hidden yardage. How about that return? Flipping the field, taking it past the 50, and getting things set up to start the series.
Down to about the 45. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this 3rd quarter. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. They'll run it again with Barkley. And some room to work. Past the 20. 5. And he will take it on in for a giant touchdown. Saquon Barkley with his second touchdown of the night. And the Giants add on to their lead, and it's looking like that win streak is going to extend another week.
I guess when you look back on it, it was just a matter of time until he popped a big one like that. And, you know, at halftime, you and I discussed it. They'd done a nice job on him in the first half. But there were a couple of occasions where it felt like he might wiggle out of traffic and take it to the house. Finally here in the second half, that got done.
Extra point by McCann, up and good. And this one was over a while ago as he just added on to that big lead. McCann's got it teed up. And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. About set to begin their next drive. The Falcons offense at the line. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get...
And for the fourth time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off by Aaron Robinson. Yet another mistake after the interception there. And guys, you look up at the scoreboard, they just got to be thinking this one cannot get over fast enough.
It certainly can't. And also what happens when you get this big of a deficit, you're supposed to make all the right throws, right? You're supposed to try and obviously get the ball to your own guys. But being down this big, you also take even more chances. And in this situation, that hasn't paid off for them at all.
And the others, there he goes, left side. And he will step out of bounds down near the 10-yard line. 110 yards on the ground for him now as he's gotten better, really, as the night's going on. So now, following the big play, they've got a first and goal all the way down at the 10. Operating from the gun, Jones. And he's got it. Touchdown, Giants. From 10 yards out. And the Giants are closing in now on a 7th straight win to start the year. That, of course, all set up by the big run on the play prior. They took advantage right away with a touchdown throw.
And you mentioned advantage, probably taking advantage of their natural instinct after that previous play to be aggressive and rush towards the line of scrimmage. And instead, they were vulnerable to the pass.
Extra point by McCann, up and good. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. McCann's got it teed up. And they'll let that one go as it skips through the back of the end zone for a touchback. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. We've talked about it, CD, but it bears repeating. They are struggling to throw the football. All the interceptions and more incompletions. It just doesn't look like things are in sync out there.
I would agree with that, and
now here's another interception. And the Giants are going to take possession of the football.
Well, partner, I got to tell you, I'm trying to think of something positive to say for this offense, but I'd have to be a spin doctor for that one. This has been a tough performance to watch.
And I think it's hard at this point to actually identify what's really gone wrong. I guess the catch-all is everything. Doesn't sound like real sharp analysis, but I don't have much else for you.
And the scoreboard just lopsided, and it's been ugly from the get-go.
And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
13 yards, good for a Giant first down. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the fourth quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out.
And that is caught. He's got it for a Giant touchdown. A 12-yard touchdown grab. And the Giants add another 6 points to what's going to be a blowout victory. Extra point by McCann, up and good. And this one was over a while ago as he just added on to that big lead. McCann's got it teed up. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll get it up just past the 20 as his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right,
throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. Another try after the first down sack. Wilson, and his throw is going to be incomplete.
This has obviously been a bad loss, but one of the few things they can still do is try and throw the ball all the way to the end zone and get some points on the board so they're not shut out over the final 2 quarters of this game.
Third and long, it's Wilson. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And unable to connect, incomplete. Now give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
They'll probably spend a little extra time dissecting the game film after this one. I think the part of their plan was to hit them over the top of the deep ball. They've been unsuccessful all night.
Here we go, it's Wilson on 4th down. The Falcons go for it, but it doesn't work out. And how about this for a setup? The ball will go over on downs at the 1-yard line. Boy, going for it at this stage in the second half, back in the shadow of your own goalpost. Explanation, please, Mr. Davis.
I'm not sure I'm going to give you a great one, but here's a thought that I had.
And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. Well, this has been another impressive display by this undefeated team, Charles, and it looks like they're going to stay that way after this one.
Yeah, one of the league's best offenses, they've stayed on brand in this contest because they continue to look good at what they do. Just added a late touchdown, and now they're really hammering home just how good they've been all year long, letting the rest of the league take notice.
McCann's got it teed up. Taken in at the 3. And can you believe it? It's a second safety in this ball game. Well, in the process of that kick return, it appears we had an injury.
We'll get an update when we return to MetLife Stadium. Things are just going from bad to worse now. It's a safety that does them in here, and that is one frustrated offensive unit.
They can't get out from under their own shadow right now. I mean, I know this is the NFL, but could you imagine a college crowd right now? That's what they'd be doing. They'd be chanting, "Start the bus," because they think this one is over.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. They'll try and run some clock here with Barkley. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. 136 yards rushing for him now as his big night continues. And carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. They keep it with Barkley on first down. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Catch made by Slayton. Well, fans expect these primetime slots to deliver some of the best games each week. And, well, one team has certainly followed through with that tonight. Just an absolute clinic, Charles, on offense here. And they don't seem to be done trying to drive that football.
Yeah, and continue your theme about one team enjoying it. One fan base is enjoying it as well. The other fan base, they might disagree with what they've seen, but the one that's winning, they're certainly getting their money's worth.
That one looks like he'll throw here. Once again, he finds Slayton. And he'll be taken down at about the 22-yard line. Well, this one probably not the close game you would expect or hope to see in prime time, CD. But, of course, that wasn't their intent in preparing for this one. They said they felt like their offense was ready to put up some points. And, my goodness, it has been a dominant display in front of a national audience.
Yeah, they thought it, and it certainly came to fruition, didn't it? They've been dominant in so many ways in this one. If you weren't paying attention to this group before, you certainly are now after seeing this type of victory from them.
And this is going to be intercepted. Jonathan Abram picks it. And the Falcons are going to have the football at their own 1-yard line. Now they get a fourth quarter pick. A little something to hang their hat on, I guess.
Okay, so let's face it, though. Who's happy about this play? Fantasy guys, right?
Yeah.
The analytics will tell you one thing or another. That's a bad play on one hand, a good play on the other. But it's all about the fantasy points here.
Yeah, because this ball game is over. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons. And for the third time now, this is going to wind up a safety. Unbelievable. Things are just going from bad to worse now. It's a safety that does them in here, and that is one frustrated offensive unit.
They can't get out from under their own shadow right now. I mean, I know this is the NFL, but could you imagine a college crowd right now? Imagine what they'd be doing. They'd be chanting, "Start the bus," because they think this one is over.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10, right at the 50-yard line. From the midfield strike, they'll look to throw. Over the middle, complete. It's Watson. And they're going to get this down near the 35-yard line.
Nothing but praise from me for this offense. They have been tremendous all night long. They knew what they had to do to unlock the defense. Let's face it, this has been a master class in offensive football that we've been here to witness.
Well, fans usually love to see scoring, and
let me show you how to be a star. Let me show you how to go far. Let me show you how to shine bright. Let me show you how to shine bright. Let me show you how to be a star. Yeah, pull up with a baddie in a fancy car. How to party like a rock star and play guitar like a superstar. Yeah, and I'm so tired of them playing with me. Yeah, pushing my buttons, this ain't no game to me. Yeah, ain't got time to be explaining me.